Well, we've been talking a lot about Irma, so I do want to turn our attention really quickly to Jose, which is actually a major hurricane. As of the 11 o'clock advisory, it's been updated to a Category 4 hurricane. And notice it is moving to the west-northwest at 18 miles per hour, winds gusting up to 185 miles per hour. So we've got two Category 4 hurricanes in the Atlantic and Caribbean Sea right now. Jose will not bother us as of right now. It will continue on that northwesterly track and then eventually make a curve off to the north and east, eventually also weakening to a Category 2. So we'll watch Jose, but as of right now, it is expected to stay out over the Atlantic. And then we're watching Irma, as we've been for the past several days. As of the 11 o'clock advisory, still moving off to the west-northwest at 14 miles per hour. It's about 405 miles southeast of Miami, Florida. It will continue on that northwesterly track as a Category 4 as it approaches South Florida early Sunday morning. So here we are at 8 o'clock. It will continue across the Florida Peninsula. And remember, it can go anywhere within that cone, but the more it stays over land, the weaker it becomes. So by Tuesday and Wednesday, it should be post-tropical by that point as it approaches Atlanta, also into Tennessee and Kentucky. I want to talk about the odds here because it seems that the most likely path that Irma will take, and again, this is not definite, but the most likely path will be right along the Florida coast or just to the west as the models are starting to shift a little bit. So most of Florida, especially the east coast of Florida, will be hardest hit. This would actually help Georgia, South Carolina, North Carolina a bit. Our impact still pretty minimal. So again, minimal. Again, so we'll watch that for you. Here's a look at the rain forecast for you as well as we push through Tuesday, Monday, also into Tuesday. The highest rainfall totals will be farther to our south into coastal South Carolina and Georgia, also into Florida. And then for our area, you'll notice the lighter shades here, anywhere from 1/2 of an inch up to 1.5 inches. Some spots maybe a little bit heavier, especially as you head farther to the south and the west. And then as we talk about the winds, this is a graphic of the probability of 39-mile-per-hour winds. So that's tropical storm force winds. And notice that actually stays farther to our south and west as well. So we will see some breezy conditions, but again, not tropical storm force as it looks right now.
This is Dabu 7. We have the chief of FEMA now stating that Hurricane Irma is going to devastate the United States. And the reason I'm bringing this up is because they just came out and announced that more than half of their money for the whole year was wiped out because of Harvey in Texas. Now we have this system, Hurricane Irma, making its way toward southern Florida. We know for sure southern Florida is going to be affected by this. The rest of the track at this point, we're waiting to zero in on. I look to talk about that more tonight on Underground World News Live on Dabu 777, 9 p.m. Eastern. But as of right now, you can see they've downgraded this to a Category 4, but don't think that this thing isn't packing a punch. It is. It's still over the water. It's going to keep that energy. And Andrew did a lot of damage to Florida. Okay, now check this out. Maximum winds of 165. Maximum winds of 185. You can see the diameter. This one is way bigger. You can see the speed. Wind radius. Larger. Time over Florida, 4 hours. This one expected to be over Florida anywhere from 20 to 24 hours. Plus, the newest models showing it slowing down. And to give you an idea of the size difference, this was Andrew. This is Irma. This hurricane is almost twice the size here. It's just an absolute monster. I'm hoping that anyone down there riding it out has a plan. Prayers going out to everyone down there. It's going to deal with this. We have more systems. We've got Jose we're going to have to keep an eye on. But I guess first thing is first, Irma making its way toward the United States. And like I said, I'm going to talk about this more tonight, Underground World News Live, Dabu 777, 9 p.m. Eastern. I'll leave a link below. Hope to see you guys tonight. Peace.
Good morning. It is Friday, September 8th. I'm Kenny Choi.
And I'm Michelle Griego. Time now is 6:30. Mass evacuations continue throughout the night and into the morning in Florida as the southeastern U.S. braces for disastrous wind damage and flooding.
Meg Oliver joins us live this morning from Miami with more on the preparations for this monster storm. Meg?
Kenny and Michelle, Irma is tearing apart the Caribbean and it is racing toward Florida. Here in Miami, as you can see, some gas stations have run out of fuel as the window for preparing is closing.
Final preparations are underway as Florida residents watch and wait. Many seeing the damage Hurricane Irma, the most powerful Atlantic storm on record, has left behind in the Caribbean.
It has caused untold damage and suffering in its wake.
In Cuba, hundreds gathered in prayer Thursday, asking the country's patron saint to spare them. The storm is expected to hit there late tonight and then bear down on Florida sometime Saturday night into Sunday.
Don't be complacent. We're not sure exactly where this is going to go. Listen to the evacuation orders. Think about your life. Think about your family's life.
More than 500,000 people have been told to evacuate. Traffic has highways backed up for miles.
People made a rush for gas. By one estimate, nearly 40% of the pumps in Miami and Fort Lauderdale have run dry.
Federal officials updated preparations for the storm this morning.
Heed all local warnings. The goal is get out of a storm surge vulnerable area. That is wind-driven coastal storm surge flooding waters coming onshore. That's the most devastating hazard associated with hurricanes.
And though much of the focus is on Florida, forecasters warn Irma could also punish areas to the north in Georgia and the Carolinas.
If you haven't left yet, authorities are stressing if you have relatives or friends in Florida you can stay with, that is a safer option. They don't want anyone getting stuck on the highways. Shelters are also opening up, and we are hearing estimates of tens of thousands of people that could end up in them. Kenny and Michelle, if people go, they're asking them to bring 3 days worth of food and water.
Oh, Meg, you mentioned that a huge number of gas stations have just simply run out of fuel, including the one that you're standing in front of. So those people are pretty much stuck.
There are still some gas stations in the area with gas, and people have been tweeting out at this station or this station. I just happen to be at a corner where every gas station that I can see has run out. So they're asking people to look on social media and still try to fill up today as quickly as possible.
Meg Oliver live for us in Miami. Meg, thank you. Meanwhile, rescue crews from the Bay Area are again stepping up to the plate to help.
KPIX5's Ann Makovic is at Moffett Field, where a group from the California National Guard is getting ready to leave to Florida this morning.
Yeah, about 100 members of the 129th Rescue Wing based here at Moffett Field are getting ready to take off again. Many members of this team just got back from helping after Hurricane Harvey in Texas. Here they are loading up their C-130 plane for that mission. They got the call to redeploy to Florida a half an hour after landing back here at Moffett Field. 90 guardsmen and women performed search and rescue operations in that hurricane zone. Included in this team, highly trained Guardian Angel pararescue men. Today they are bringing 2 rescue helicopters with them to Florida. Now, local firefighters also answering the call. Members of the California Task Force 4 left from Oakland yesterday heading to Florida. This is an 80-member urban search and rescue team made up mostly of Oakland firefighters, many of whom also helped out with Hurricane Harvey. At Moffett Field, Ann Makovic, KPIX5.
All right, Netta joins us now for the latest on Irma's path.
Yeah, Irma's still large and in charge, this monster of a storm. I want to show you where Irma is right now, going to cause a lot of damage to Cuba next in line. You can see the outer layers of the storm already impacting Cuba. It went through Turks and Caicos overnight. The Bahamas now getting a lot of wind and rain from the storm as well. So it is even stretching as far as Jamaica. This is such a widespread storm. And now let's track bracket and let you know what's to be expected for Florida today. So here it is right now. Wind gusts 150 mile per hour, sustained winds 150, gusts right now at 190. It is still moving west-northwest at 16 miles per hour. So let me step out of the way, show you where it's expected to reach Florida, when it's expected. This is early tomorrow morning around 11 a.m. our time. That's when it's going to still be hovering right along Cuba, as it will through the night tonight. And then tomorrow late night, Saturday night into Sunday morning, that's when it's expected to certainly impact Florida Keys, Miami. All of the southern communities there of Florida are under a hurricane warning, and a lot of those people just expected to leave, or rather should be leaving. This is where the storm is actually headed now, expected to go inland into the United States as it downgrades into a Category 2 and then turns into a low pressure system. But Georgia, the Carolinas, Mississippi, even Tennessee could be impacted from this storm system. This gives you a sense of the widespread amount of rain associated with this. Several inches, 10 to 20 inches still expected from this hurricane. So even though it's been downgraded, that's still serious stuff. Here's the wind gusts expected between 80 to 155 miles per hour winds as it hits Florida on Saturday, and even the outer layers. This is still dangerous wind conditions. We do have obviously an active system, several active systems. Katia still right in the Gulf of Mexico there. Here's Irma, there's Jose, and Jose, in fact, expected to hit the Leeward Islands. They just got hit by Irma, and then it's going to graze just north of Puerto Rico as it heads further north into the Atlantic. Here's why Irma is now making this direct path towards Florida. We were hoping this jet stream would dip actually right as Irma was passing through, but unfortunately that did not happen. It dipped too soon, and now the way hurricanes move, they find the path of least resistance. So it looks like the path is wide open for it to impact Florida.
While southern states struggle in the aftermath of Hurricane Harvey and the potential damage of approaching Hurricane Irma, the West continues to battle an enormous wave of multiple wildfires. The spreading blazes have displaced families, destroyed property, closed highways, and threatened the national landmarks. According to the National Interagency Fire Center, 76 fires are currently burning across California, Colorado, Idaho, Montana, Nevada, Oregon, Washington, and Wyoming. Nearly 1.5 million acres are either still burning or have been burned, with over half of that acreage in the states of Montana and Oregon. Of the 76 fires, only one has been contained.